Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Welcome to day 22 of the reading from Krishna book. We are on chapter 11, Killing the Demons, Vatasura and Bakasura. Sorry, I've been saying Vatasura all yesterday, but actually it is Vatasura. So Vatasura has been killed by Krishna, and now Bakasura has come to disturb the inhabitants of Vrindavan, and we will continue from there. When the boys saw the showering of flowers and heard the celestial sounds, they were struck with wonder. And when they saw Krishna freed from the mouth of the great demon Bakasura, all of them, including Balaram, were so pleased that it seemed as if they had regained their very source of life. As soon as they saw Krishna coming towards them, they one after another embraced the son of Nanda, and held him to their chests. After this, they assembled all the calves under their charge and began to return home. When they arrived home, they spoke of the wonderful activities of the son of Nanda. When the gopis and cowherd men all heard the story from the boys, they felt great happiness because naturally they loved Krishna, and by hearing about his glories and victorious activities, they became still more affectionate towards him. Thinking that child Krishna had been saved from the mouth of death, they looked upon his face with great love and affection. Indeed, they could not turn their faces from the vision of Krishna. The gopis and the men began to converse amongst themselves about how wonderful it was that child Krishna had been attacked in so many ways and so many times by so many demons. And yet, the demons themselves had been killed and Krishna had remained uninjured. They continued to converse amongst themselves about how so many great demons in such fierce bodies had been attacking Krishna to kill him, but by the grace of Lord Hari had not been able to cause even a slight injury. Rather, they had died like small flies in the fire. Thus they remembered the words of Garg Muni, who had foretold, by dint of his vast knowledge of the Vedas and astrology, that this boy would be attacked by many demons. Now they were actually seeing that this was coming true word to word. All the cowherd men, including Nanda Maharaj, used to talk of the wonderful activities of Lord Krishna and Balaram, and they were always so much absorbed in those talks that they forgot the threefold miseries of this material existence. Just to remind you, the threefold miseries of this material world are miseries caused by our own body, miseries caused by the world around us, and miseries caused by the nature itself. This is the effect of Krishna consciousness. What was enjoyed 5,000 years ago by Nanda Maharaj can still be enjoyed by persons who are in Krishna consciousness simply by talking about the transcendental pastimes of Krishna and his associates. In this way, Balaram and Krishna enjoyed their childhood pastimes, imitating Lord Ramchandra's monkeys, who constructed the bridge over the ocean, and Hanuman, who jumped over the water to Ceylon, Sri Lanka. They used to imitate such pastimes amongst their friends and so happily passed their childhood life. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport of the 11th chapter of Krishna, killing the demons Vatasura and Bakasura. Now we start chapter 12. The killing of Aghasur, demon. Once the Lord desired to go early in the morning with all his cowherd boyfriends to the forest, where they were to assemble together and take lunch. As soon as he got up from the bed, he blew his buffalo horn bugle and called all his friends together. Keeping the calves before them, they started for the forest in a great procession. In this way, Lord Krishna assembled thousands of his boyfriends. They were each equipped with a stick, flute, and horn, as well as a lunch bag, and each of them was taking care of thousands of cows. All the boys appeared very jolly and happy in that excursion. Each and every one of them, including Krishna, was attentive to his personal calves as he herded them in different places in the forest. The boys were fully decorated with various kinds of golden ornaments, yet out of sporting propensities they began to pick up flowers, leaves, twigs, peacock feathers, and red clay from different places in the forest and further decorate themselves in different ways. While passing through the forest, one boy stole another boy's lunch package and passed it to the third. And when the boys whose lunch package was stolen came to know of it, he tried to take it back. But the boy who had it threw it to the another one. This sportive playing went on amongst the boys as childhood pastimes. When Lord Krishna went ahead to a distant place in order to see some specific scenery, the boys behind him ran to try to catch up and be the first one to touch him. So there was a great competition. One would say, "I will go there and touch Krishna," and another would say, "Oh, you cannot go. I will touch Krishna first." Some of them played on their flutes or vibrated bugles made of buffalo horn. Some of them gladly followed the peacocks and imitated the onomatopoetic sounds of the cuckoo. Just to tell you, cuckoo, we call it cuckoo in the Western dictionary, but there is this original bird called koel in the subcontinent, which is very melodious in its singing. While the birds were flying in the sky, the boys ran after the birds' shadows all along the ground and tried to follow their exact courses. Some of them went to the monkeys and silently sat down by them, and some of them imitated the dancing of the peacocks. Some of them caught the tails of the monkeys and played with them. And when the monkeys jumped into a tree, the boys followed. When a monkey showed its face and teeth, a boy imitated and showed his teeth to the monkey. Some of the boys played with the frogs on the bank of the Yamuna, and when out of fear the frogs jumped into the water, the boys immediately dove in after them, and they would come out of the water when they saw their own shadows and stand imitating, making caricatures and laughing. They would also go on an empty well and make loud sounds, and when the echo came back, they would call it ill names and laugh. As stated personally by the Supreme Personality of Godhead in Bhagavad Gita, he is realized proportionately by the Transcendentalists as the Brahman, Paramatma, and the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Here in confirmation of the same statement, Lord Krishna, who awards the impersonalist the pleasure of Brahman realization by his bodily effulgence, also gives pleasure to the devotees as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Those who are under the spell of the external energy Maya take him only as a beautiful child. Yet he gave full transcendental pleasure to the cowherd boys who played with him. Only after accumulating heaps of pious activities were those boys promoted to personally associate with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Who can estimate the transcendental fortune of the residents of Vrindavan? They were personally seeing the Supreme Personality of Godhead face to face, he whom many yogis cannot even find after undergoing severe austerities, although he is sitting within their hearts as Paramatma. This is confirmed in the Brahma Samhita. One may search for Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, through the pages of the Vedas and Upanishads, but it is difficult to find him there. However, one who is fortunate enough to associate a devotee can see the Supreme Personality of Godhead face to face. After accumulating pious activities in many previous lives, The cowherd boys were seeing Krishna face to face and playing with him as friends. They could not understand that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, but they were playing as intimate friends with intense love for him. When Lord Krishna was enjoying his childhood pastimes with his boyfriends, one Aghasur demon became very impatient. He was unable to tolerate seeing Krishna play so happily, and therefore he appeared before the boys, intending to kill them all. This Aghasur was so dangerous that even the denizens of heaven were afraid of him. Although the denizens of heaven drank nectar daily to prolong their lives, they were afraid of this Aghasur and were wondering, when will the demon be killed? The denizens used to drink nectar to become immortal, but actually they were not confident of their immortality. On the other hand, the boys who were playing with Krishna had no fear of the demons. They were free of fear. Any material arrangement for protecting oneself from death is always unsure, but if one is in Krishna consciousness, then immortality is confidently assured. The demon Aghasur appeared before Krishna and his friends. Aghasur happened to be the younger brother of Putana and Bakasura, and he thought, Krishna has killed my brother and sister. Now I shall kill him along with all his friends and calves. Aghasur was instigated by Kamsa, so he had come with determination. Aghasur also thought that when he would offer grains and water in memory of his brother and sister and kill Krishna and all the cowherd boys, then automatically all the inhabitants of Vrindavan would die. Generally, for the householders, the children are the life and breath force. When all the children die, then naturally the parents also die on account of strong affection for them. Aghasur thus deciding to kill all the inhabitants of Vrindavan, expended himself by the yogic siddhi called Mahima. The demons are generally expert in achieving almost all kinds of mystic powers. In the yoga system, by the perfection called Mahima Siddhi, one can expand himself as he desires. The demon Aghasur expanded himself to 8 miles and assumed the shape of a very fat serpent. Having attained this wonderful body, he stretched his mouth open just like a mountain cave, desiring to swallow his mouth open just like a mountain cave and to swallow all the boys at once. Including Krishna and Balram, he sat on the path. The demon in the shape of big fat serpent expanded his lips from land to sky. His lower lip was touching the ground and his upper lip was touching the clouds. His jaws appeared like a big mountain cave without limitation, and his teeth appeared just like mountain summits. His tongue appeared to be a broad traffic way, and he was breathing just like a hurricane. His eyes were blazing like fire. At first the boys thought that the demon was a statue, but after examining it they saw it was a big serpent lying down on the road and widening his mouth. The boys began to talk among themselves. Dear friends, this figure appears to be a great animal and is sitting in such a posture just to swallow us all. Just see, it is not a big snake that has widened his mouth to eat all of us. Okay, we shall continue our katha tomorrow at the same time, and we will find out how Aghasur eventually got killed by Lord Krishna. So we are seeing that, as Lord promises in Bhagavad Gita, that Paritranaya sadhuna vinashaya dushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Whenever there is the irreligion in the society and the demons and other not so heavenly species or the Atmas are trying to disturb the peace of this earth, Bhagwan has to come in one or another avatar according to the time, place and circumstance and deliver the people of this universe. So this is happening in Vrindavan, and we are enjoying the nectarian pastimes So we shall continue tomorrow, and I wish you all a very nice day ahead. Hare Krishna.